How friends, welcome to the channel. Bob here. Bit of a late introduction, that one. We're doing Everquest Legends again today. We're in Befallen. I thought I'd talk about the game a bit first of all, because a few people have asked me about it. I'm just going to do, as we go through, I kind of talk about some nifty things that I like and that kind of thing. The first thing is the spell sets. So you can save spell loadouts, which is pretty good. And also the quick buff button, which you can't see here because it'd be very, very small. But if you stack up your buffs and then cast quick buff, it casts all of your buffs on you that you've got in your list. And it also casts them on your pet, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and then you can just go back to your, I've got like a buff set and I've got like a main set. And you can go back to your main set and it loads them all in for you. I think that's very cool. I like that a lot. I can't see any reason why. I can't think of any reason to pick that apart. You know, unless you actually, for some reason, want to sit there just individually doing it for whatever reason, because you think it makes yourself more classic. I don't know. But yeah, for me, I don't care. So that's a nice little touch. Well, we'll run through. I'm going to go to, this guy's level 21. He's a human paladin monk enchanter. I'm kind of thinking about how things are working from a class point of view. I guess like if you're going to go proper end game, like proper end game, I think would be, make sure I don't aggro anything. I think proper end game is going to be, this guy might aggro. No, this guy will. Like proper end game, I think it's going to be like probably like difficulty 4 raids and stuff. And I think to a certain extent, you're going to probably need to have maybe a particular build loadout or whatever for that. But I don't have a problem with that because like your character can kind of level any class to 50 at some point, so I don't really think it matters that much. I've been coming up with some kind of class combinations, I'm trying to work out how it works, like how you sustain yourself in difficulty 4 essentially against, like, you know, Nagafen or whatever, like in the plains, whatever it may be. Where's my pet? Oh, he's there. And it feels as though you, as you would expect, you need a combination of what you would expect. So you need some healing, you need some tanking, and you need some DPS. And I guess the thing from someone who enjoys building, you know, like making builds and stuff, is what's the most efficient way of doing that? I guess. I've watched a few. I've watched a few raids. I watched a few D4 difficulty 4 raids. People killing people in fear and hate. You know, killing the dudes. Yeah, and it's surprising because some of them, a lot of the time, it seems as though because they've got so many hit points, essentially you're just wearing them out. So I saw someone using a bard who was just playing what appeared to be almost every song they've got, essentially. Yeah, and they were just tanking. I think they were playing like a warrior or a paladin, maybe. One of the most popular ways of doing things, I think, seems to be to play a knight and then pair that with like a warrior or a monk. Monk seems to be preferable. Just so that you've got all the defensive stuff, basically, like you've got the highest level of dodge and all that kind of stuff that you can achieve, and then you just wear them all down. Basically, that seems to be how it's working. There are some more, I think, some more DPS focus stuff. Like I think I've seen quite a lot of people using Wizard. I think Wizard Druid seems to be a good combination because I think the Druid's got some sort of AA that does, I don't know if it's like crit plus crit for nukes and stuff, so yeah. But yeah, for the most part, like killing killing Ini or whatever on D4 seems to be about just surviving and wearing them down, essentially. I know Cleric, at one point, Cleric was considered a must-have for D4, but I've seen quite a few videos now of people doing it without a Cleric. So we'll see. I mean, I've been trying to think about things from a point of view of like what I actually want to do, as opposed to what I should be doing from a meta point of view, which I don't mind. You know, I don't mind me maxing a bit. But my initial thought was I kind of wanted to do, I've always wanted to do the Shadow Knight Epic. So like when that comes online, I think my initial feeling was to do maybe pair a Shadow Knight with Monk. So replace the Paladin here with a Shadow Knight, see how that works. And then you have a Shaman or an Enchanter, you know. I'm not sure how well that. I think Shadow Knight taps are just generally worse than Paladin healing. So I don't, and there's no lay on hands either. So I'm not sure. That might have to be paired with a Shaman, which suits me because I kind of wanted to play a Shaman anyway. So, but I think that kind of setup would purely be to do the Shadow Knight Epic essentially. Okay, mate. I think you said that in the last stream, and I think I made my feelings known about it. So I'm not sure if you're trolling just a little bit, but that's fine. It's not the best thing I've ever played. In fact, I got a lot of issues with it. But you know, I guess you can play games or not. You can play them or not. I think that's the thing. I was watching a video the other day about indie games in general, and it was interesting because it kind of this wasn't MMOs particularly. It was just all indie games about how they're being held up as a saviour of gaming when most of them are just as shit as AAA games. Even the ones that the big streamers play, like Asmongold, like generally, you know, he's playing them for a specific reason. You know, it's been recommended to him or whatever, or it just ticks a box, some kind of box with him and stuff. But ultimately, most of them are shit, even the ones that the big streamers play. Yeah, but the comment that they made, which actually I was like, oh yeah, that is actually what the problem is that as an indie developer, you're making the game for yourself, but not for anyone else. And I think that's where the issue is. Now that might sound obvious, because why wouldn't you? But that's not generally how games have been made in the past. You sit down and you think about your audience. You don't. I think the problem with indie games is that developers kind of, you know, they all think, I don't know, they all think that they're like Picasso or something. And it's just, we've got all these brilliant ideas, so I'm just going to chuck all of these ideas into the game. And I think, unfortunately, that's not how it works. Yeah, there is. I mean, I know it might sound weird, but there is a difference between making a game just for yourself and then making a game for the audience. And I kind of feel that I think that's an indie game issue, but also an indie MMO issue as well, definitely. I just think there's a general lack of. I'm not sure. I think in some cases, obviously, it's probably fighting clerics is just a fucking pain in the arse. I'm sure it's purposeful in some instances, and some instances not. But there's just a complete lack of understanding of how classic MMOs were. I think from the audience and from developers. You know, it's like, I mean, I was on the Monster Memories Discord yesterday or the day before. And there was I was reading a couple of threads. One of them got locked. I don't know why. It didn't seem to be there's anything wrong with it particularly. One of them was talking about like soloing and grouping and stuff. And yeah, and like one of the, I mean, this is sort of thing that's happened with all the games, not just Monster Memories, but like what someone said. Oh well, they're going back. It's this group focus. They're going back to how things used to be before modern MMOs. And I kind of, when you want to say something, you want to get involved. I wanted to say, sorry, go back when? Go back to when exactly? Like, when was this? When was this mythical time where? It's what I said before. And it's a bit like the difference between an indie developer creating a game just for themselves because that's what they want to do, as opposed to creating it for a particular market. It's the same. It's the same with this. Exactly the same with this. It's creating a I don't I don't think the Everquest developers ever sat down and said, right, we're going to make a group focused game. In that way. That's how they're portraying it. But I don't think that's how it happened at all. I think that I think they sat down to make a good multiplayer game, MMO, based on their experiences of D&D and playing Ultra Online or whatever. And they didn't restrict themselves in that way. They didn't say, like, every encounter has to be a group encounter, and if you go into a dungeon, it's a group experience. That's just not what EverQuest was like. Irrespective of whether it was meant like that or not, that's how it turned out. How it turned out was how it turned out. I even see people saying, apparently classic EverQuest fans going, oh well, there's a lot I didn't like about it, and I didn't like this about it, and stuff. And it's like, well, you didn't like it then, I'm going off on an MMO rant again, but I can't help it. But yeah, that's the thing. Like it's like when I play classic EverQuest, I never felt like the developers are trying to force me into a group situation. Grouping was better for a number of reasons, but not necessarily like leveling speed or whatever in some cases. But it just so happens that EverQuest essentially allowed you to essentially do what you wanted to do, basically, however it was. And whenever I hear a developer say, "Well, our game is a group-focused game, but you can solo, it's just not as efficient," then I that rings alarm bells to me, really. We've already had a game like that, Embers Adrift, and that game is dead. It's like, why are you repeating the same process again? But there you go. That's how it is. I just don't think I think it's just a lack of understanding of the player base, and unfortunately, it's the vocal minority who tend to get their way. It's funny because they think that the vocal might. When you listen to these people, they think the vocal minority is the people trying to change the game to be a modern MMO. And actually, for the most part, it's people who just want a classic MMO. And the problem is that that's not what they're getting. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, as the Monster Memories development has gone on, there's just been a lot of red flags. Not all of them particularly, from the developers themselves, but they certainly haven't done anything to suggest that, this is not going to be the case. This is how it's going to be. And I think the grouping solo thing is just another. I mean, they went through some class revamps yesterday. I've seen quite a lot of people saying, well, the classes just feel weaker, and they increase difficulty of the mobs as well. So mobs just feel harder. So essentially, what you get is a situation where you find yourself. It was a bit like when. It's almost like a stealth. It's almost like a stealth chevrons. It's like when Pantheon went through the chevron debacle, and then they moved it. And it's like. And also, I mean, I think there are things that just go to show that these people claiming to be MMO experts or whatever it is are just not. Like I saw in this same thread, like someone said, "Oh well, it's a balance thing." They're making mobs harder, so it's harder to solo because it's a balance thing. Otherwise, dungeons are too easy for groups. Well, how was that ever the case in EverQuest? And they said, "Oh well, it's obvious because WoW Classic had to bring in elites in all the dungeons, so it was more challenging." Well, again, what about EverQuest? EverQuest didn't do that. What are you talking about? It's just a complete lack of understanding of how classic MMOs worked. Doesn't make any sense. I kind of wonder if this chevron thing and this increasing the difficulty of mob thing and whatever is just the fact that the developers are just not capable of balancing the game like EverQuest did. Now, if you have a dungeon design and it's a good design and mob layout is good and interesting and stuff, then there's no reason why it would be a problem. Having to kind of artificially make your mobs harder to increase the challenge and thus pushing out some people, pushing out a vast majority of people, in my opinion, out of the game, because they can't just log in for an hour and make some progress is just not the way to go. As I said, we've seen it before. I mean, it's obviously not the way to go because we've seen it. Games have tried it. Ember's Drift tried it, finished. Pantheon tried it with chevrons. They moved chevrons, probably still finished. But there you go. That's just how it is. I guess the thing is, either, as I said before, you either play them or you don't. I've long since given up on that parasocial. Oh my God, the developer spoke to me, so I've got this game's the best ever kind of crap. It's just, I just judge every game by what they're doing and what they're telling me they're trying to do, and see if it all fits. And it doesn't at the moment. Anyway, back to EverQuest Legends. What I find of EverQuest Legends is that if you play the hero's journey, the leveling experience is so you actually gain, weirdly, you gain about the same experience as you would on P99 with the Zems, with the zone experience modifiers in a dungeon. So I just killed a couple of mobs there that were, I don't know, what were they, like 3 or 4 levels higher than me, and I got 2.3% experience. And I know from experience of killing in Befallen or some of the other dungeons with a high Zem, sometimes I get 2 or 3% experience. So that's interesting. But you do level quicker here, obviously, because that's the aim, because you just kill mobs quicker generally. So it's possible to pull 2 or 3 yellow mobs and just kill them off, basically. So there is a quicker churn of you killing. Oops, get a spawn behind me. Oh yeah, just got fucking harm touched in the back. Yeah, so you just get so you kill mobs quicker, so you do get a faster experiencing level, but not as fast as I thought it was going to be, actually. Yeah, there are some people that get to 50 quickly, but who work out the routes, know all the routes, best ways to go and stuff, which are probably the same as P99, really. I mean, my leveling route on P99 quite often came down to like Befallen or Nagina, and then kind of like Guck, really, and then towards the end, like the whole a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, just to quickly go back to it, because it really just struck a nerve, was that comment where where this person said that the problem with indie game development is that they're developing it for themselves and not for people who necessarily like those games. And I think that was quite telling, because I think there is a difference between the two. I mean, I've sat down and jotted down loads of ideas for MMOs, but when I look at them, over a period of time, I realise that some of the ideas just probably wouldn't work, But when you're kind of creating something yourself, and you think, oh, these ideas are good, so I'm going to do them. I think people will like them. I think that's kind of where the issue is. A named dude around here. I don't know what I'm faffing around for. I might as well just go in, and because I've got my super weapon, which is essentially, which is basically mesmerization. Rangers are a pain in the arse as well. You get ranger mobs. It's a real pain in the arse. She didn't get mezzed, which is a bit annoying. Did she get mezzed? Oh, she did. take the Ranger out next. I'm not sure if there's diminishing returns on CC or not. I don't think so. And my pet seems pretty good with CC as well. He doesn't... yeah, so getting back on the game, leveling seems a bit slower to me than Hero's Journey. More in line with P99, but you kill mobs quicker, so you do level quicker than P99. I think this guy drops a nice dagger, which I don't know if I can dual wield it or not. I think I was talking about the other stream about like enchanted fine steel rapier. Okay, I can't use that. Interesting. Shadow Knights can use it. That's interesting. I will loot that anyway. Let's remove that from the screen. I think we'll rebuff. So I was camping this camp yesterday. This is the Baron and his bodyguard. So he drops the Baron's Blade, which is damage 11, delay 30, 6 stamina, 6 dex. And obviously you can upgrade them. So I've got a +1 at the moment. He also drops, these guys drop some armor as well. Pristine leather stuff, which I've got a bit of. Yeah. So let's quick buff. I think if you've got anything, if you've got a Shaman, Cleric, Enchant or whatever, I think quick buff is like a, you know, almost like a must-have. It's expensive, like you can't just get it. I think it costs like 5 AA points or whatever, but yeah. Boom, 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 bada boom. I think we will see if we can calm the Baron. See what happens. I think that maybe worked. Let's see. See if we can pull the soldier on his own. Oh, we can, yeah. Okay, fair enough. The soldier's easy. The Baron is a paladin, though. He's such a pain in the arse. You obviously kind of have to wait for him to lay on hands before the fight really begins. I think I might have killed him once because he just maybe forgot to lay on hands. But there's been times where I've got him down to like 10 or 15% and suddenly he's decided to lay on hands. Sometimes he'll do it at like 60%. It's weird. Pristine leather. What have I got? I'm not sure if this quite works out or not, but it gets to a point where, like, just up my pristine, my leggings the +3 at the moment. I've got a +2. That kind of still keeps them as +2 though. Like, people have been saying that it works out better if you've got like a +3 or a +4 pair of item. Then you're better off looting a few of the normals and combining them together, then combining that with your one because you get a higher experience or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's pull the Baron. I like these fights, like the Baron. like this fight, because it's generally I like those kind of war of attrition fights where you're kind of slowly wearing each other down, and eventually, you kind of win. It's just getting him to use that harm, getting him to use the lay on hands. I think first is the thing. Paladin seems a really popular choice. I think just because the healing's pretty decent. Like cleric doesn't have complete heal anymore, but they do. They have a heal that heals for like 5,000 hit points after a period of time. I'm not sure if the paladin gets that, but he does get some good healing. It seems to be enough for people to sustain themselves. But then if you pick monk, you get mend, and you get mend. You get all the evasion skills. Block dodge, I think, is all the highest. The highest stats and things. Has he laid on hands yet? Is it 10%? I think he must have done, right? Okay. I think these guys probably spawned again. I can't use a dagger, so I'm not that bothered about it. 2 priests. Holy shit. Holy shit. What I should be doing is it's just XPing. I mean, the thing is, though, not really. I shouldn't actually be doing that, no, because in about 5 days, everything's wiped, and you got to wait a week for the game to release. If you still like Everquest, though, and you're just strapped for time, and you want to do as much stuff as you can on your own, then it's like a no-brainer, really. I'm personally just enjoying being in Everquest, doing stuff, just the whole Everquest atmosphere, the visuals, sound effects, all the stuff. There was a bit of they released the cash shop stuff, and there was a bit of drama about the cash shop at one point, but it's a Daybreak game, so it's going to happen. I played a Daybreak game before, like Lord of the Rings has got an extensive cash shop, but I just never interacted with it, so it didn't really, these things don't affect you unless you want to interact with them or you want to get angry about them. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but at the end of the day, that's not a bad little rotation actually. So kill those 2, and then come here and kill these, because these should spawn again soon. There are some weird things from a point of view of where it's kind of aimed at solo play or a small group or raid play, but there are some decisions that kind of don't fit in with that, which is kind of quite weird, but we'll see how it all kind of works itself out. For example, there's like a barrier to entry for the raids, so I think you can only do, I don't think, is it like once a week? I think you can only do the raids once a week. But you can do all 4 difficulties. But I'd imagine most people would kind of do that like in a day. They'll just go around and do all the raids, all 4 difficulties in a day. So I don't know what the idea behind that is. Well, I guess it's to kind of slow down gear progression, but yeah, actually no, that's not true. I think you can go and do the raids, but you only get like 1 item drop. Whereas if it's, so that's probably all right actually. It's not too much of an issue. Yeah, to be honest with you, like cash shops have never bothered me really. The stuff like loot boxes bother me more, because I think it's purposely targeting people that have got just gambling addiction essentially. But cash shops, no. I mean, the thing, like if I start EverQuest Legends on on the 28th, and there's someone who, and say the cash shop sells something ridiculous, like a potion that levels you to 50 straight away, it has absolutely zero impact on my game. I don't care that some bloke got to level 50 on day one, or he took or he bought a potion that increases his XP gain, or I think there is going to be a potion that increases AA XP gain. It doesn't affect me, and I don't know why people just get. It almost feels sometimes as though it's just people that don't want to or can't spend money on it, so they get annoyed that other people can. I don't know. No impact. I mean, if it was a competitive game, then obviously that's a problem. But this is not a competitive game. This is almost like a single player role playing game. So it really. Who cares what you can buy in the shop? I just don't get it. Morning, mate. How you doing? I feel a bit brain dead this morning. I actually stayed up for the football last night. And it wasn't a case of like I wish I hadn't have done, but yeah, it's fucking painful. Jesus. He's laid on hands this time. I don't know if he did it last time. Maybe we were just out DPSing him. I don't know. Yeah, so I was like I think my thoughts on what I'm going to do with the game is I've kind of got like because you can level everything to 50 if you want, but I don't think I'll probably do that. Not you know, not for a long time anyway. But I think I've got like I think I've got 4 or 5 classes that I want to level to 50, predominantly because I want to do their epics basically when they come online. Be ready for those. Yeah, and that's probably it really. That's my main goal at the moment. Or that would be my main goal when yeah, the sword's a rare drop. Very rare, it seems. I'll combine those two. So I combine these. If I can buy 2 normals, I get a +1. And I think the probably way it works is if I've got my tunic is +4. If I put a +1 in a +4 tunic, it only upgrades it by a little amount of experience. So I think probably every 3 days. That's pretty decent. I think you can still do them though, can't you, within that 3-day period? But you just get less loot, I think, which I think is fine. Like so in game, I held my tongue, but it was difficult. But in game the other day, someone said that the hole is the worst zone, Everquest zone ever. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, that is absolute nonsense. And it's not even subjective. And the hole is like I think I said on Discord, it's like what have we got here? Bloody priests again. It's like an EverQuest within EverQuest. It's like I think the hole is probably the best dungeon in the game. It's like as a self-contained unit. Like I'm not sure if this person just never did anything in the hole. They just got killed by the elementals at the start or something or whatever. Or But I mean, the hull is just a fantastically designed zone. It's massive. There's so much going on, so much to it. I mean, it's literally is like a game within EverQuest itself. I was like, oh, all right. What are you going to do? Still beta, mate. Yeah, yeah. The beta finishes on the 21st. Then there's a week gap. And then the game comes out on the 28th. All this stuff's going to be wiped, though. So. I spoke to a few of you are not sure about it because you did P99 for a long time. Yeah, and it's just you're a bit burnt out, and I'm probably not as burnt out as that. But what I'm enjoying about it is it kind of allows me to carry on experiencing EverQuest. I was going to say classic EverQuest, and it kind of is really, you know, but I won't say that because I'm going to go, it's not classic. Yeah, the whole is just an amazing zone. It's just got tons of everything, as you say, tons of lore of its own. It's like a self-contained. It's almost like, I mean, I think it's that good. It's almost like a game in itself, and you could pay like full price for it. Fucking Rangers, honestly, they do so much damage. And to use lay on hands for a Ranger, it's shocking. I haven't really used any of my moats yet, apart from to level up mesmerization. That was kind of which I didn't use there, which I should have done. That's the main reason I've used it. Hopefully it gets better, but things like my first haste spell, quickness, is like it's got a 5 minute duration, which is a pain in the arse. I'd like to see. I know that some of the buffs as you go up in level they get much higher durations, but it can be a bit of a pain. I normally fight the Baron on this side because you can just be out of range of the. Oh, fucking pet, honestly. Come back here, you Burke. Oh, okay. Let's just get it done. It's a soldier spawns, and he spawns. It is. It's a fantastic zone, and it is like it's also I think the height of like risk versus reward as well in EverQuest. Like it really is like the only thing I'm slightly concerned about with it and the other zones is that I don't know what model they're using, but the pathing is shocking. Like even in like like Fallen is a reworked zone, but even in this zone, it's in some areas it's absolutely shocking. It appears as though the mobs kind of running on like squares. So if you pull a mob from one, if you pull a mob from a corner and you're standing on the other corner, it doesn't run straight towards you. It will go around almost like a square or a rectangle to get to you, and that can just be nightmarish with regards to like pools and stuff. So I'm hoping that they're working on that because it is pretty shocking the pathing. Let's loot all. Big variety of mobs as well in the hole, which is cool. Where are you going? So let's merge those. And then if I get another tunic, I've got a 2 plus 2. I'll merge a couple of plus 2s and I'll merge it into my plus 4, see what happens. Hopefully it gets to, hopefully it at least gets to plus 5, I would hope. I think the only negative I feel is the future predominantly, I would say. I just wonder what, you know, because there's talk about Velius not being the third expansion, the expansion that comes out after Kunark. I think they're looking at, I saw them kind of maybe thinking about introducing like an EverQuest 2 dungeon. I'm not quite sure how that will work. I mean, if it feels like classic EverQuest, then I guess it's all right. But yeah, those are the things I'm not too sure about, the long-term stuff with regards to. Oh, she went down a lot quicker. Yeah, with regards to what's being released, whatever it may be. Yeah, I remember watching. I don't know. It might have been Level 1 Undercon, years ago when he did his Shadow Knight Epic. I think you have to go down there for part of it. And it was pretty cool watching watching that. I was thinking about charming one of these rogues for backstab, but I don't know. I haven't so far. So yeah, so I would say that those are the two things so far that one thing I like needs working on, and that's the pathing in dungeons, and the second thing is kind of long term, like what they're going to be releasing and stuff like that. Because even though I'm enjoying it, there's still like a barrier with regards to like how classic EverQuest it feels and whatnot. And if it kind of goes outside of that, that's probably when I'll start, you know. But that's more from like an experience like a feeling point of view, like a vibe, rather than obviously you can be free classes, so it's not classic EverQuest, but yeah, more of like a feeling and a vibe. You know, if they start designing their own dungeons and stuff, if they start introducing new models or different visuals and stuff, that's probably where I, yeah. Yeah, well, I've always wanted to do the SK Epic because I think it's the best looking one in the game. So that's definitely going to be when Kunark releases. That's definitely going to be. I want to be ready for that. On the hero's journey, I really enjoyed progressing through Plane of Sky as well. It was yeah, I mean it's quite challenging on there, and that was with having loads of expansions released and loads of gear and stuff essentially. So I imagine it probably be even more challenging on here, particularly at level 50. You know, I think that's what a lot of people. Oh, wrong spell, wrong side. Doesn't matter. It's interesting to see how. I always wonder how people get back into a loop, because I've seen a lot of people in EverQuest Legends saying I haven't played for however long, but I've started playing EverQuest Legends. I think to myself, that's interesting. Like what, you know, they love EverQuest, all the usual stuff, and I kind of think to myself, oh, that's interesting. Like you never heard of or played P99 or you know stuff. I don't know. Like is the emulated EverQuest server world like smaller than we think it is? You know, you just would have thought that someone, if you're really into EverQuest, you would have heard of P99 and you would have played it, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, we got a Baron's Blade. Nice. I've got a +1 with no XP. No, I won't do that at the moment. Yeah, it's weird. Also seeing people complaining about it as well. Like I saw someone, I've sort of was seeing a couple of people actually complaining about, oh, XP gain is so slow, and then that gets me to thinking, like, well, what version of EverQuest you're used to, you know, like, is live so much quicker now XP wise? Is that why you find it slow? I mean, I think it clearly states that it's a different well, it's a server that's not trying to be like a modern EverQuest in that sense. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird though how people are fans of a game, but they just don't. But they've just fallen out of the loop completely to a point where they don't. Right, so if I upgrade those legs, they're now a +2. So if I upgrade my +2 with a +2, they become +3. It's all very complicated. And then the current legs I'm wearing are +3, but actually these legs are +3 with some experience already. So if I upgrade a +3 with a +3, what I get is a +4 and a bit of experience. Okay. Fair enough. What have we got here? Bloody a ranger and a rogue. Oh well. No problemos. Yeah, actually, it's pretty. I think the XP gain is pretty good. Obviously, it's, as I was saying earlier, it's quicker than P99, but only because you can kill mobs quicker, basically. So if you come to Fallen on P99 and you kill a mob, like a blue mob, you actually get about with the zone experience modifier. You basically get a similar sort of XP rate to what you get here, but obviously on P99 you just kill things slower. So there's also some problems I noticed with like spell notification. Like in first person, there was no spell hit graphic there on the mobs for mesmerization. Just nothing. I'm not quite sure if I don't think it's like that in EverQuest on P99 anyway. But it is a beta, you know. I'm sure they've got a lot to work on. Yeah, I think the pace is. I think they've got it. I think they've got it right. Actually, you know. I mean, you've got to be willing to bear in mind. Obviously, it's not classic EverQuest, so yeah, you're going to level quicker. But for what they're going for, I kind of feel it is as you say, like it is a real sweet spot for progress speed. I think. Um, um, yeah, so let's upgrade that tunic to +3. I put my +3 tunic in my current +4. Oh, it still doesn't quite get to +5. It still doesn't get +5. Man, I'm going to merge them anyway. It's beta, right? Who cares? I'm trying to be too too thingy about it. The soldier hasn't spawned jersey. I need to buff. I didn't realise that the game's got mounts in it as well, which I think are on AAs maybe. I'm not sure if they all are. I didn't realise. I was like, oh, someone running past. It might have been a paladin or something on a paladin mount. It's a shame who enjoys buffing. I'm appreciating the quick buff AA. I like that a lot. the soldier spawn again? Ah, what? Holy Steed, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't check to see if he'd laid on hands yet. I'm guessing probably not. I'll just nuke the shit out of him until he does. There you go. I'm not sure how up to date the wiki is, but I might spend some time during the week off of the game, just looking at some builds and stuff. See how it goes. Try and come up with some stuff. As I said, I'm not very good at the builds thing anymore. Looking at all the different combinations and whatnot. So I'll probably end up just picking a combination that I like, that someone else has made, and then kind of like maybe trying to make it my own kind of thing. Right, let's try and burn him down. Just keep interrupting him. I probably should have loaded another stun. I mean, I'm like a paladin enchanter. It's not like I don't have stuns. Although sanity warp stuns, so... Going back to what I was saying earlier, though, it is weird. Like I've watched some content creators for the game as well who seem to be kind of like really into it, and but again, like there's no indication that they've kind of played P99 or anything. You know, it's really weird. You wonder where the dudes are coming from. Kind of getting lazy now. Having to rebuff quickness every 5 minutes is a pain in the arse. I also always want to do the warrior epic as well, so I don't know. Like as I was saying earlier, it seems as though people are picking some of the most popular combinations seem to be a knight with a monk, for example. You know, so you like paladin seems to be the most popular, so you get the benefits of the paladin from I guess from like a sustain point of view, but you get like the high I guess you get all the high skill caps of the monk for melee and stuff. I wonder if you can. I guess you can probably replace monk with warrior. So, because I'd like to do those two epics, I'm kind of thinking, well, can I get away with a? Well, you can obviously leveling to 50 and stuff. Can I like a Shadow Knight warrior? Then maybe a shaman for the heals. I don't know, and some dot DPS. I don't know. I want to play an ogre with a Shadow Knight epic, essentially. That's my. And I like to do the Shaman epic myself properly this time as well. I didn't really do it properly myself before. So what have we got here? Baron's Blade. I've got a number of pristine sleeves, which I guess will merge together. A current pair of level 2. Oh, I'm trying to fuse. I'm trying to fuse an item to itself. So you can't do that. I know a lot of people like it, and I don't dislike it, but I got a bit annoyed by the equipped weight yesterday. I think it's purely. I'm not sure what difference it makes, you know. But I was trying to dual wield, but the number kept turning from green to red, and I didn't like that. So you know, it was just one of those things. The old Enchanter pet's pretty beastly. The warrior paladin chucks some heals and buffs around and stuff. And I think at this level, I've not really noticed that his healing's having much of an impact. But maybe he is. Maybe I'm just not really... Did I kill these dudes? Yeah. I need to get that AA that tells my pet, just do nothing until I say. Stunning in the game is a massive issue. I mean, there is an AA that helps with melee stuns, I think. But when you're fighting a couple of paladins or clerics, it kind of feels a bit excessive. I'm not sure if they're kind of looking at tuning that maybe somehow. Or even if they want to, I don't know. But yeah, I think the stun AA, I'll probably pick an ogre anyway, but Mez wasn't going off there. It's almost pointless trying to wear this guy down. He seems to have so much mana, and his healing spells just cost so little mana that it's like... Oh, we got another sword. Nice. More sleeves. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Yeah, my kind of old brain is not as good as it used to be with that kind of metagaming thing. From what I've seen, like a lot of people are pairing a paladin with like a monk or a berserker, for example, which is what I've done here. I think because the paladin's hardy, got lots of sustain, healing, you know, lay on the hands, that kind of stuff. The monk, I think the monk's got the highest skill caps in the game for certain defensive skills like dodge and block and all that kind of stuff. Maybe, I think so. Yeah, so that seems to be quite a common pairing, and then people are putting like an enchanter or a shaman with it, kind of thing. A bard seems to be a popular choice for that pairing as well. Bard and cleric seem to be very popular choices. I mean, up until recently, the thing seemed to be that you needed to have a cleric to to do D4 raids and stuff in your build, but I've seen people do them without a cleric, with a bard and stuff. So I think if you like nuking things, I think I saw that there's like a good wizard. There's a good wizard. I think wizard druid, because druid has got like because druid has got like some AAs that crit, direct damage crit bonus, I think. Yeah, Paladin Berserker seems to be another popular one. I think the Berserker stance, because because all the characters have got all the different classes have got stances as well. So I think the Berserker stance. I think people essentially say that Berserker stance is, you know, probably the only reason for running it over a monk. But I think Berserker kind of gets some good. I guess he gets good melee stats as well, you know. So, but yeah, I've seen Paladin Berserker was pretty popular. I'm not sure really. I think that the thing is when the game gets into difficulty 4, like if you're trying to kill Innerrook or something, or Nagafen on difficulty 4, I suppose at that point it becomes more about staying alive long enough, really. You kind of feel that like a wizard's good for leveling, but I'm not quite sure how good it would be. How good it would be against like D4 Innie or something, you know. Yeah, no, that's the thing. You can't. That was disappointing. I guess it was a balance thing. And I think the hero's journey. I think what I've noticed about this is that I hope it doesn't ruin the game, but they do seem to be more concerned about balance than hero's journey was, which you kind of don't really need to be. It's aimed at, it's like trying to balance a single player RPG. It's just, I don't know. But no, you can only have one pet at the moment, which is annoying. I think what you can do if you have like multiple, if you have Necro Mage, I think your pet has got an inventory where you can give him stuff to make it stronger. I think if you have more than one pet class, you get more slots, but it's not the same. I think it was like on the hero's journey, they called it the pet cuck trio, and I did try it and I really enjoyed it. But there was just a you know people who moan about things being too overpowered and stuff in a single player experience, that kind of thing. So it feels as though they've avoided the pet cuck build here, which is disappointing because I actually think I thought it just should be fun at the end of the day. And I think like picking 3 pet classes but only having to have 1 pet is a lowering of the fun, in my opinion. But there you go. That's just me. I think I ran Beast Mage something on the hero's journey. I think because the Beast Lord had a number of pet AAs that were very good. Was it Beast Mage? It wasn't Necro. Was it Enchanter? I can't remember actually. But it was Beast Mage something. Maybe it was Beast Mage Enchanter for. Yeah, I was thinking of doing like an SK. Well, I have on the other server. I've got an SK Shaman Necro, because what I wanted to do was to come up with some kind of like just like a dot build. So like a turtle dot build. So you just it was all about dots for damage, and you just kept yourself alive until the dots killed the mobs, basically. The only thing I wasn't sure about was like because I do want to do raiding and stuff and that kind of thing. I wasn't sure if the Necro Life Tats would be just good enough healing, really, to keep me alive. But we'll see. There are some AAs around Life Taps, and they are powerful. So maybe it did. thing I wasn't sure about with that, but with my other character, who's an ogre, is just for dots, do you need a shaman and a necro? Like are you going to cast all those dots? I suppose possibly you could pick like a couple of each, the best ones from each class, kind of thing. You know, particularly when it goes into Cunark and we level to 60, and we get level 60 spells. I'm guessing. The a few things I found a bit weird considering what they're going for is the buffing thing feels a bit weird. And I know that, I mean, I played an Shaman on P99 all the time, and I love just going around buffing people and stuff. I love buffs. I love spells that just make you stronger. But in this game, I don't know. It's like I want a buff, but there are some buffs that are permanent when you put them on that are not in Classic EverQuest, and there's some that are not. And I just think to myself, it's a single player game, just like I don't predominantly, you know, you can group if you want, but so just have all buffs permanent. Like maybe if you zone, you lose them. I don't know. It just, you know, for this experience, it does feel a bit like a chore, particularly with quickness, which lasts 5 minutes. I mean, I know it was a short buff for the Enchanter in Classic EverQuest, but having to rebuff it every 5 minutes just feels a bit of a pain in the neck. But it's kind of like one of those quality of life things, I guess. Like how far do you go? Yeah, Enchanter and Shaman seem to be pretty key in a lot of people's builds just because of the buffs. It kind of feels that it feels like I was watching someone doing like difficulty 4. Who's the dude in the hole? Is it Yale? And yeah, it seemed like getting a slow on him was pretty useful. I mean, yeah. So Enchanter or Shaman got haste and slow. I saw a nice combination. Someone had a cleric and shaman, which I thought was quite interesting. And cleric doesn't have, I said earlier, cleric doesn't have complete heal, but they've replaced it with a spell that you cast it on yourself, and after 18 seconds, it heals you for 5,000 points. And when this guy was in combat, he was like cannying down. You'd cast a spell, then you'd start cannying, you know, and then the healing spell would go off, which was quite interesting. It's strange that they thought that something like complete heal was too OP, but I guess because the player's hit points is generally just much bigger, and as you go into other expansions, it's probably and we get more levels, it's probably only going to get bigger and bigger. So maybe they're looking at it from that point of view. Ogres can wear robes in this game as well. That's the biggie for me. that's always the thing I wanted on P99. Ogres in robes. I hope they scale the UI. I've still got, like, apart from quick buff, I haven't spent any AAs yet, and I think part of the reason is the fact that my old eyes just can't. The text is just too bloody small to read all the stuff. But I think Secret said that they're thinking about. Yeah, they're trying to do a scaling UI for 4K, so that'll be good. That'll be good. I'm not being out. I mean, I'm not being very efficient here. Like I think I've only spent a few AAs. What did we get? Nothing. I think what I find with this combination is you go through levels, you get nothing. You get no new spell. I guess it's the thing with being a paladin and a monk, I suppose. But some levels you get nothing, no spells, no skills. Anyway. It was really OP in Classic, where like if you would like I've seen I would there was an enchanter on P99 he used to stream, and he would duo with a cleric, and he would charm a pet in like plane of growth or whatever or wherever it was, and those mobs have got tons of hit points, so that the value you're getting for complete healing a mob who's a pet is just massive. Yeah, I don't know why they changed it on here. I'm assuming it must be a balance thing. I haven't even got auto attack turned on. Holy smokes. So I think in revamped Nagina, I've got 3 chest pieces here. Let's try and do something with these. This whole merging upgrading game is a bit weird. I'll say weird. It's, it's like someone will come up with a formula for it. I'm sure. So that's now +2. Mine is +4. Oh, I can get mine up to +5 maybe. No, not quite. Oh man. I need one more tunic. Let's see if we can get this one up to +2. Okay. My current sleeves are +2. I'll put these +2 sleeves in +2 sleeves. You get +3. Fair enough. It's an upgrade, right? And from P99 Green, FU EQ Legends. Bye. Bye. Have a nice day. It's funny how cross people get about stuff that's not the funny thing I always find is that you can like do both. You can play 2 different Everquests and have a different experience. It's like I'm playing P99, so I can't play anything else. Can't play Legends. Don't make me. To be fair, I used to be a bit like that, a bit snobby like that, but yeah, I mean, things kind of rotate out of fashion, or it just has its time, doesn't it? I mean, I personally still think that P99 is the best EverQuest server, but after sort of 15 years or so of playing on it, it's a lot of people just, it just phases out for them. It just becomes a. Oops. I don't often run mobs. Maybe because my pet's normally rooting them. Oh, the Baron's yellow. No, stop. Back. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, now I've been stunned. What a surprise. Come on, lay on hands so we can get this fight started properly. There we go. I think we've all got, as I said earlier, we've all got our limits, right? I mean, in the future, if this game starts becoming kind of a bit of like a, you know, like a custom content, like thingy fest, then I'd probably stop playing it at that point. I think at the moment what they've done with the zones are really good. So like Befallen is a revamped zone, so it's got new mobs and items and stuff in, but you know, it's still Befallen, it's still sympathetic to. And I think the gene has been revamped, but it's still got you know, the key mobs that were in the gene are still in there, I think. Not timing my stuns or anything very well here at all. I've noticed occasionally you get like the AI seems to almost be like a player, so that you cast a certain spell and it will shield bash, or it will shield bash then heal. You know, I'm not sure if that's just you know, just a coincidence, but oh, I got +1 that time. I think I might go to. I haven't been to Nagina yet, New Nagina. I might go because I think it's got like a. I think it's supposed to have like a really good monk weapon there. I guess a lot of stuff though probably will change for release. You know, they've been patching some stuff from a balance point of view. You know, so we might find that some items are not as powerful as they were, etc. There's so much to do as well. You've got like the spell upgrading spells as well. Yeah, I'll just tell you what, we might go. I reckon we might go over there. I might gate back to town, and then maybe we'll go and have a look into Gina just for a change. I don't think there's anything else here I want. I wanted to upgrade my Baron's blade a bit more, but it's a slow going. So we'll do something different. Yeah, I was talking about it a little bit earlier, like kind of like during what's now become a regular kind of indie MMO rant thing, and I've played it a lot, but yeah, it's just I just kind of feel that as development's gone on, it's sort of moved away from, I guess, like the more classic sensibilities that I was hoping for. I think when it first. What am I looking for? I do miss Spirit Wolf. I've got the Traveller's boots still, and you can upgrade them, but that's the wrong way. There we go. I know where I am now. Not sure if anyone's been following the World Cup, but I think yesterday we saw kind of what it can all be about. with the England-Argentina game. I don't know, some people might say, oh, it's toxic or whatever, or that kind of thing. Like, I think that is how football is. Not toxic, but rivalries to a point where, I think I've said it before, but I think the thing to remember about football in Europe and South America is that it is like a religion, and it's treated like that in regards to, you know, yeah. Uh, oh, got tier two Baron's Blade. The only thing I'm not keen on is if you bind an item to you, you can't then sell it, so it kind of becomes useless, I guess. Um, so the Fire Steel Longsword, basically, I've got no use for it. It won't upgrade my Baron's Blade, so all I can do is just destroy it, I guess. My pet's got a better weapon, so I guess it just becomes surplus to requirements. I think it's just like I think it's a number of, like I've said before, but like for me, like a classic MMO like EverQuest has got certain parameters that if you want to attract me as like a classic MMO player, then to a certain extent it's kind of got to work within those parameters, really. I think that I'm not sure if these things will ever be in the game or not, but I haven't seen the devs deny that they are, so I don't know. But like when I hear things like, items with level restrictions on them, and like potentially gating people out of content based on level, like you mentioned, the class revamps plus the increase in mob difficulty, I think is just, people that want to solo or stuff, it's making it harder for them. At the end of the day, they're just not the sort of it's not the sort of classic vibe that I'm looking for. It's I'm not sure if you was here, but I was kind of talking about Fred the other day. I was reading on the Discord about someone saying that recent changes have made slow soloing really, really hard, or just like a real slog. And you kind of get the usual sort of responses, oh well, the devs have said it's a group focus game and stuff. And group focus game to me is a bit like the word niche. It's like a red flag, because I don't think that EverQuest was kind of developed in those terms, in the terms that we're specifically doing everything so that it's aimed at group content. It was more a case of, this is what we're doing, this is how we've balanced it, and off you go, basically. If you can solo it, fine. But I kind of feel like saying we're designing things to be group focused sounds like you're purposely balancing it that way, which then I think kind of leads to a point where it just becomes hard. It just becomes too much of a slog for people who are soloing or whatever. I'm assuming these guys don't like me. It's difficult because like obviously games like EverQuest and Ultra Online, etc. were obviously MMOs, but I never ever felt that they tried to restrict ways of you playing it in other ways. It didn't seem to be a purposeful design decision. Like they didn't say, right, we're going to design a dungeon this way and put these mobs in, and these mobs are all going to be elites, which is very much a World of Warcraft thing, just so that someone can't solo it. I kind of feel that that's what we see with a lot of the indie MMOs. Yeah, I mean, if you go into any dungeon, it's obvious. You look at how the dungeon is designed, and it's designed in a way that it's meant to be challenging, and maybe like potentially the best way of initiating with the encounters and the mobs and stuff is in a group, but it's not designed in a way that you have to do it, otherwise it just becomes it's the only kind of like efficient way of doing it. I mean, in many ways, like in classic EverQuest, there are a number of classes who I would say were more efficient soloing from a only just from like a progress, like a purely like a leveling point of view. Particularly when you take into account the fact of like waiting for people, or people going AFK or whatever it may be. If you chuck an enchanter or a necro or a shaman in a dungeon on their own and they know what they're doing, they're probably going to be more efficient for them, and maybe more fun, assuming that they're not in like a friend group or a guild group. I wonder if I said earlier. I wonder if it's just like a design thing. Maybe it's really really hard to design that way. Maybe they can't design it. They can't balance it that way. So they have to arbitrarily make things harder on purpose, so that they can balance it. I mean, Pantheon tried to do it, and then they removed it, like with the chevron thing. I haven't been back to the game since they removed chevrons, actually. So I'm assuming they're just completely redesigned the dungeon, so they're more, I don't know, like EverQuest dungeons, Maybe we take it for granted it's because we've played EverQuest that it just seems simple, like you don't need to make mobs elites to make a dungeon challenging. It's kind of well, I still remember my way to Nagina without a map, but I did spend a lot of time here. I still got the same mobs. Yep. Some pretty similar levels as well. I used to come and hunt outside Nagina until I was high enough to go in. Yeah, it's all pretty much same level, I would say. I think also it's just as I said at the start of the video. I'm not sure if it's like purposeful or not. It's probably a bit of both. Some people it's purposeful, some people, but it's just ignorance. But like I remember someone making this same argument about in Pantheon, like talking about the chevron mobs, and someone said, "Well, EverQuest has chevron mobs. It just didn't tell you what the chevron mobs were. So what's the problem?" And I said, "Well, tell me what chevron. Tell me what EverQuest had that was the equivalent of a chevron mob." And they went, "Oh, dragons in Velius." And it's like, what, are you serious? Like what is that? Like less than 1% of the content? Yeah, it's just weird. Like I'm the only one in Gina at the moment. That's weird. Like EverQuest had names, but they weren't necessarily uber more powerful than than just normal mobs in the dungeon. I think also the thing though is that there's generally, like in single player games as well, there just generally seem to be like the design philosophy nowadays seems to be it's too tailored, it's over designed. So I've used this argument a lot, but there's a couple of single player RPGs that I played in the last 5 years. Like one of them was Cyberpunk, and they just kept balancing everything. Like every patch, like for a period of, I don't know, it must have been a year or so. Like every single patch was a balance patch, which generally was nerfing stuff. And I didn't understand it. Like, why are you nerfing stuff in a single player game? It doesn't make any sense. Like in a single player game, like literally, even if there was a skill that destroyed the whole world, who cares? If that's what someone wants to do, then let them do it. It's a single player game. It's having no impact on anyone else. I just never understood it. Never understood, and it was the same with some of these live service games. So like I loved Helldivers 2 for a period of time, but it was every week there was like a balance patch. I think we'll start from the beginning and just go around killing mobs. Undead as well, so those paladin buffs that rarely go off. Those paladin AAs I've got that rarely go off, they might go off a bit more. Yeah, I just don't understand this. It's like even open world games that people call sandbox games, just seem to be like overly curated to control the experience that the player's having, and it just seems crazy. Yeah, developers almost just seem scared of what players are going to do or find and stuff. Can you imagine if Everquest were designed that way? Like it would just be just a much lesser game than it is if that was. I mean, that's not to say that in the early days, like devs didn't nerf stuff, because they did. They nerfed pets a bit, which I think was probably reasonable. I remember as a shaman, like barbarians, kind of casting dots on the mammoths that were like 10 levels above them, and just running around kiting them and killing them. And they nerfed dots a bit, so if a mob was chasing you and you dotted it, it only did like 2/3 of the damage, that kind of thing. So obviously they did nerf stuff. And I don't think that anyone's asking for stuff that's game breaking. It's just, I think when you, as I said, I've said this many times before, when you set barriers based around just kind of like in a gamey way, like stopping players from doing stuff because you're trying to create the content too much. I think that's kind of where the issues are. I think all of the stuff that I've spoke about is part of this, like level restricting items, locking off content per level. What the fuck? Oh, I just come across a level 25 wizard named mob. He's definitely new, this dude. I've never seen him in the Gina before. Rude as well. Oh, he's chucking those wizard nukes around. Needs to be stunning him, really. Oh, as a wizard though, he has used up his mana pretty quickly, so that's a relief. I should probably let one of these spells go off, so he's completely out of mana. Although mana regen seems pretty tasty on mobs. Yeah, I mean the names in EverQuest, classic EverQuest is slightly stronger to a point where you can, like, if there was a named mob next to it, a normal mob, you could charm the normal mob. Oh, drop of crystallized flame. It's an earring, AC 1, 10 mana, 1 intelligence. Oh, nice. That's my first one of those. We'll chuck that in. Oh, someone's got a cloak of flames. +2. Nice. Yeah, so like if you're an enchanter, I mean I've done it plenty of times before, where you get to a named, and you can use another mob to kill it, albeit buffing the mob and maybe slowing the named would be required. But as you say, it wasn't designed to be out of the realms of. I think the problem we've got to a certain extent, again, I know I'm just repeating everything I said before, but it's I think playing a live MMO is just, particularly like nowadays, I think is a real issue, because you've got an active game where the developers are just looking at everything, and I just imagine them thinking, we don't want the players to do this, we don't want the players to do that, so we'll have to nerf this, stop that, change that. I just think it's going to be an ongoing process of I like that the revamped zones have still got a lot of the similar mobs to what they had before, so it still feels like Najina. I'm just going to set all this crap for now. Ooh. Nice big ogre. Come on in, boy. Oh, I think I've seen a weapon called a tenderizer. I guess that's what he drops. Oh, this guy's tanky. The tenderizer. One-handed blunt. 5 damage, 19 delay. Oh, that's quick. Strength 2. I'm currently using an enchanted Fine Steel Morningstar. I still love that skeleton laugh and the clicking of bones when you hit them. So, hello. I think they... I'm just going to sell all this stuff. I think they seem to have around 8 servers at the moment. Whoa. There's a little gnome. Lost Crusader. Ah, cool. Okay, mate. I will keep an eye on him then. I don't know why I was attacking the skeleton before the paladin, but there you go. There's some nice drops in what I like about the zone revamps. I think what have we got so far? Oh, cloth sandals, long signet ring of the Lost Crusader. On strength, 1 intelligence. Oh, nice. I've currently got ring wise AC 3, agility 5. Yeah, what I like about the I don't remember where the pits are in here. We'll soon find out. I think they're over there, aren't they? What I like about the revamps is like each, depending on what class combination you are, it kind of encourages moving around them, because each revamped dungeon's got like a fairly decent item in it for a build. So I'd probably definitely visit all 3 during live just to pick up a few bits. I did pick up the the golem metal wand from Befallen's pretty key, I think. It's got pillage enchantment on, which I think is quite a high level Enchanter spell, I think, maybe. I want classic, a tentacle terror would spawn here somewhere. One thing I was a bit disappointed about, and I guess it's just a time thing, is that I love ogres, but their leather like Fashion Quest game is not good. It looks like some big fat Italian granddad sitting outside a bar or something, or a cafe. So it would have been nice to have some slightly upgraded models and stuff for armor. Maybe give them a new leather look. I mean, even the fungi tunic looked pretty naff on a ogre, unfortunately. Fortunately, like if you're playing a knight or a warrior, I guess, like plate looks awesome on ogres. I guess they're in the game, but I think I saw some. I've seen some. Like I saw a bard with the blue quest armor on, so I'm assuming that's in as well. That would be pretty. Get some of that. Actually, no. Well, I kind of think that there's some of the legacy items are in the game. So get some ruby sight armor, just for that red plate look. I think Geyser Deceiver's in its original form. Get one of those. I haven't heard of a Mana Stone. So I think Runny Eye's got some nice stuff in it as well. Has Runny Eye been revamped? I know apparently there's a nice sword in there, two-handed sword maybe. Oh, yellow mobs. Nice. I like the way that they've done it as well, so that you like the choice of options if you create your own instance. I think that's quite good. I'm not sure if it's still the same. Someone was talking about placeholders and stuff the other day, that they were disappointed about it. They changed something back or whatever, but you could create, like, you used to be able to create a non-spawning instance, and the names always spawned, so you had like a one attempt at going around getting the items that you wanted. When I played on when I first started P99 and I came here, and I just didn't remember from way back in the day, but these skeletons were the first, what I would call that they were real undercons. Like, they were brutally hard in comparison to all the mobs around them. These were an elite mob, I would say, or an undercon, as we would call it. I guess that's what we called it. Oh, my pet died. Shoot. Okay. Well, I might as well rebuff and resummon while we're here. I like I said it earlier, but I like the spells, loading different spell sets and stuff. That's a nice touch. Along with the quick buff. Actually, no, I need to do. Need to summon my pet first, so he gets all the buffs as well, or she or it, whatever it is. I've seen this asked quite a few times. If you're new and you need, so I started in Kenos as an enchanter. Famously, there aren't any tiny daggers in Kenos on Classic. But in this game, every city has something called an adventuring merchant, and they carry all of the pet reagents and all that sort of crap that you need, so you can get them from there. What does a tenderizer look like? I will have to attune it to myself though, but whatever. Oh, nice. So that's 8:30. 5:19. It's quick. I'm not sure if it's the same on here. There used to be a thing, didn't there, with dual wielding on P99? Where is it better to have a slower weapon in your main hand? I can't remember. There was something like that. Like, there used to be some ogres around here and some skeletons. Oh, Lost Crusader. Is that a name to the? Is that just like a normal mob, or is it a name that spawns? No, it had a. I wonder if that ring that it dropped is going to be like a quest. I don't know. Oh, she's a Shadow Knight. Oh, so we can upgrade the signet ring. Okay. Ooh, it's a nice fight. Leroy Jenkins. Let's chuck some mesmerization in there. The pet seems to be really good with mesmerize. I think he actually says to you, "I can't attack that." If he's attacking something that you mesmerize, he says, "I can't attack that." I'm unable to awaken thingy. That's good. I like the looks of one of the things that I like the looks of was what I was thinking about might be quite cool was like an all caster, an all ink caster class. So like mage, whiz, enchanter maybe, or something, or you know. Oh shit, there's another one. Where did you come from? But I don't know how that would do. I mean, doesn't matter particularly, but I'm not sure how that would do in the like end gamey raidy kind of stuff. I'm not sure how you're sustaining yourself there, or if a pet could, like a, I don't know, mage pet could tank like D4 raid stuff. I don't know, no idea. It just seemed like a cool idea though. I was looking at the stun AA the other day. I think the stun AA is like I think it's all around you, isn't it? So the ogre one is just frontal, but the AA. I wonder if you get the ogre, play an ogre and just get the. Well, I guess you don't need to, but I think even if you play an ogre, it's probably useful. Getting the AA is probably going to be useful. Okay, there's a nice little fight, that one. Oh, that was my mistake. I think I'm mezzing, but then I'm roundhouse kicking, which is an AOE, I believe. probably worth looking around all of the little nooks and crannies because... Oh, shit. Level 29. Because if there's new names around... Oh, wow, this is quite high level. I don't remember what the spiders weren't this level. I'm pretty sure. Let's try it out. It's always the poison I hate. Okay. Yeah, the Acacia, is it short sword of the Acacia? Seems to be really popular. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. Let's YOLO this. Oh, easy boys. Right, who are we fighting? This one. Oh, shoot. Oh, these boys are higher level than I thought they were. Well, this is a really nice experience dungeon, this one. I keep clicking round click. Just, yeah. I can't help myself. Done it again. I'm sure it's an AoE. Must be missing. Well, these dudes are pretty tanky. I mean, they are 5 levels higher than me, so. need to check also if how similar some of the. I was kind of wondering how. So I think warriors still have berserker mode. I was kind of wondering if like defensive stance and stuff is any different. Considering all the classes kind of get stances, I was kind of wondering if the warriors still get. I think I saw warriors get like a highest crit bonus as well, maybe. Shit, these dudes are spawning, respawning. Come back here. I was wondering how also if you can up. I guess you could do it with moats. So I was wondering how you could upgrade epic weapons as well, or yeah, epic stuff. I guess maybe you could redo the quest to get another one. It feels a bit less epic there. Maybe there's another way of doing it. Maybe if you use it, it gains XP. That might be a good idea. A good way of doing it. Ooh, the Widow Mistress. 34 Rogue. I was about to say, should we try it? And I guess we are. This might be a turtle situation, this one. Or maybe not. She's only a poor old rogue. If she was a cleric or something, no way. That would be painful. I guess she can't backstab either, can she? So. Okay. We're kind of winning. I think we're right. I've got lay on hand still, so. I wonder what they've noticed during testing and if they've got stuff that they're keen to balance certain spells or skills or whatever. I imagine they probably will. Hopefully not too much. As I say, it's supposed to be like a single player experience, so. Dark Sponge Shroud. AC 3, some agility and charisma, some saves. Okay. What have I currently got? Okay, well, we'll stick that in our shoulders. Might as well. Skellington used to be a NPC around here, didn't there? Yeah. Not quite sure what he was for. Was it, oh, sorry, a wizard or magician-y thing, maybe? I think the only gameplay, is it a gameplay downside? I think the only downside with this, and it was the same in I haven't got any keys, so oops. The same in the hero's journey as well, is that there are some, you know, like in Everquest, where you know, as an enchanter, for example, you get to, oh god damn it, you know, you get to 29 as an enchanter and you get clarity, that kind of thing. I think those kind of big drops, I think, don't those goals that you had are not quite as, you know, as kind of stimulating as they once were. I think things like clarity, anyway. Not sure. I think it obviously still works, but I'm not sure how needed it is particularly. I guess I can scale. I guess maybe as you level it up. I was thinking about charm as well. I was kind of wondering if like just an assumption that mobs are not as strong as they were, or you're stronger than you were, to accommodate for that, and if charm mobs are still as effective as they, you know. I saw someone suggest that maybe in D4, charming a mob in D4, it'll be pretty crazy. All right, well, we haven't got the key here, and I don't think we can aggro them. No, some doors. Some doors in Befallen just don't. Well, it's the same with P99 as well, I think, to a certain extent. Some doors just do not block vision at all. So you will get aggroed through a door. Yeah. So I think that door is where is it Drellsner where she is, who drops J boots are still available as well. So for those of us without so, we can get some J boots. There is also a different part of the dungeon. Well, there's still lots of parts of the dungeon. Yeah. I think the ogres drop the keys, don't they? I think maybe there's a named guard down in the cells, maybe, that drops keys. I've got some passive undead AA. Oh, there you go. I think it just went off. I was about to say, got some passive. I tried using Spellblade, but I think my dex is just too low. Like the procs just didn't. Well, not hardly worked at all. I think Spellblade turns your first spell gem into a proc, but I guess once I get some dex, that'll be better. Pretty tanky, these dudes. That one's 4 levels higher than me, so I guess. There we go, level 24. What did we get? Nothing. It's level 20. I'm above level 20 now, aren't I? Oh. I think above level 20 they stop giving you free shit, so you have to go and buy it yourself. So I need to obviously go to the enchanter spell. I need to go to the enchanter spell merchant. Okay, wait, get through there. Oh, hello. Is halfling? Oh. Halfling's attacking my pet. What happened there? Did we AoE or something, or is he? What's your problem, dude? Oh well. It's beta. Who cares? Kill the little shit. I'm okay. He's an Argentinian footballer. Scribbled prisoner's note. We're not worry about that. Okay. Is that a false wall? I think I know there's a false wall somewhere. I think a picture is involved. Not sure if that's it. Nope. Have a key. Yeah, it's a succession of keys, isn't it? So you get a key to open a door. To get a key to open a door. I think there's like 3 or 4 keys here, isn't there? That might be a pit trap, and it is. We're back here, back where we started. Okay, guys, well, I've got to go. Yeah. Got stuff to do, people to see. Hope you've enjoyed it. We've got five. Oh, excuse me. I was watching the football. We've got 5 days left of the beta, which I think you can still get into if you go and pre-order the game, which is $20 plus, you know, like I don't know, what's it like, $20 plus $10 a month or something. I don't know. There's Ekaros there as well, plus like $9.99 a month or something, until the 21st, and it's stopping for a week, and then it's going live on the 28th. So yeah, I'll probably be back again maybe tomorrow with some more stuff. I think on the other server, my Shadow Knight Shaman Necro combo or something is about the same level, so maybe I'll do something with him. But anyway, thanks for watching.